Hello, you wonderful, wondering wonders out there in Oz. Well, we've been busy bees here in Oz, haven't we? The whole of Oz has been busy, including the government. That's wonderful. I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to be doing a tube, my very last tube for 2022, in the next week or two leading up, to Christmas. Closer to Christmas, so look out for that, you guys. I hope everybody's fine out there and coping with things. It looks like it's going to be a really terrific 2023 here in Oz. I believe that. Now the government's picking up and getting in tune with the unions and, the people and the nation. Anthony Albanese's doing a damn good job. So I'll leave it at that. This tube is not for that. One thing it is going to be about, and I put out a short tube, on the 31st December, the COVID testing sites close. Now, the government, you got a responsibility to the nation. This one thing I'm gonna go the government over, because I think it's wrong for the nation to be left, with no COVID testing sites after the 31st December. You want to rethink that, government, because it's a stupid move and people need those sites open for free testing. Because you've got ads out now, on TV stating all the things you do if you get COVID or you suspect or whatever, and it states one thing, go and get tested. But how can people go and get tested if they've got to go and pay for it, or go and pay for it themselves? As you know, the economy's, are still at a weak point and people still need that support. With the interest rates and everything else, a lot of people need support and they need that from the government. And that's not one thing you're not providing that for the nation of Oz. Labor and the government, you've got to realise that. Anthony Albanese, keep these COVID testing sites open, because nobody can afford to go and pay and get tested. A lot of people can't afford to go and see a doctor, and then on top of that, the bills that they've got to go to chemist and fill their scripts, and if they're working, they don't get any concessions, and that's wrong. And if so, they only get a small amount, but then they've got to pay for other things like their test kits, and that's wrong, because if Oz is left in that situation, a lot of people won't get tested. And then the government's got nobody else to blame but themselves when millions, not thousands, but millions of people get sick from now to the new year, with the mutant strains coming in to Oz from all over the world. We've opened Oz up, and we've opened Oz up to a hell of a lot. We've opened up Oz to the mutant strains, and they're here. So if you don't keep these COVID testing sites open, then people won't be able to get tested, and they won't be able to afford to get tested. They don't have that money. So do Oz a favour, keep these sites open after the 31st December. Do Australian people a really big service here. And on top of that, there's a lot of people after the 31st December, that are in these jobs supporting the nation, and supporting the government, and they lose their jobs. Now, I don't know how many people there will be that will lose their job after the 31st December, but there will be people that lose their job. So, come on, government, rethink what you're doing. Don't shut everything down, because people need these sites open. And it's really important to Oz because it shows people all around the world that we're still responsible trying to maintain the contagions that come in and the mutant strains that we will get, but we can live our life. But people won't be able to do that if they get COVID, they get sick, they get long-term effects from this virus. So don't let it happen to Oz. Don't let us fall into the same trap some countries are in now. Because, you know, Australia's doing good, but we can do better if we keep these COVID testing sites open. So that's all I'm going to say. That was my him-ha niggle for this tube. Really, really important. Some things I got a bit tongue-tied because you really do. It tires you to think that the government is doing stupid things, and then on top of that, government, you haven't informed the Australian people you're doing this. People are just finding out themselves when they go to get a test. And like I put it asked. No, you know, and so it's very rude that you're not informing people, you know, of that, which is really important to Oz. So that's another, you know, tick off, piss off to the government. Rethink what you're doing, because leave them open because people need it. Really, really important. But that's all I have to say, Oz. As I said, look out for my next tube in the next couple of weeks leading up to Christmas, my last Christmas tube for 2022. As I said, exciting things on the way here in Oz for 2023. At least, you know, one thing they've got in place, in check, it's really good to see, was the trains. Resolved, as I said in one of my tubes. Can the government resolve it before December? Yes, they did. Congratulations. But anyway, all right, look. As I said, you know, with the government, get a reality check. Australia needs these sites open. Now, for people on the other side of the world that are suffering, and in China and all over, but people in China, with what's happening with COVID and that, you know, because we've got a lot of freedoms here and a lot of choices, and we still have that as an individual and as a nation, where China doesn't. It's sad to see. But, you know, that's life, isn't it, you know. But for people that are, you know, experiencing psychological or physical abuse or substance abuse, there's networks and supports out there now more than ever. So as I said, you've got to put the hard yards in and, you know, reach out for support and reach out for help. What else can I say? There's not much more. Please look after yourself. I hope you're happy. Have a bit of a cuppa, bit of a bitch to your next door neighbour. Get to know people, you know, get to know people and enjoy life as much as you can, okay? And look after yourself with all these strains and that coming in, because there will be a lot of influenza and a lot of flus and that, and you don't want that to lead to one thing to another, and believe you me, it will. So let's be responsible as a nation, okay? And you know, if you got a cough, cover. If you got a sneeze, cover. You know, and if you're sick, remember, have a conscience and do the right thing. Wear masks. Do the wise thing. Wear a mask, you know. And do the wise thing and stay home. And as with testing, well, after the 31st, government, that's what I'm talking about. If people don't have these sites and they can't get tested and they fear that they are sick, how can they really have that support and get better, you know? So I do understand that, Oz, you know, but if you got COVID or you suspect you got COVID and so forth, you know, my blessings go out, you know, because I've known people that have had COVID and influenza and sickness and that. It's not great. But, you know, do the wise. What can I say? But until next time, look after yourself. my 4 codes, I will say, respect, dignity, honour and integrity. They'll serve you well. And of course, faith. And until our next tube, which will be in the next, couple of weeks, as I said, look out for me, you guys. Look after yourself. Love my viewers. Love everybody. Stay happy. Stay calm. Stay positive. 2023 is on its way, and it's going to be a damn good year for Oz. I do believe that. Everything's working in the right direction, and I think the government's doing a good job, but they can do better with these COVID testing sites. Reality check, government. Keep them open. People need them, because if you don't, you're going to find lots of people next year needing them, and lots of people in Oz will be sick. So, but anyway, like, subscribe and comment. See you later, everybody, from Planet Oz, Australia.